All right, Sacramento State football is back, and so are we. This is the Hornet Football Weekly, sponsored by or brought to you by the Hornet Club. I'm your host, Jason Ross, and we welcome back the head football coach, Marshall Spurbeck. Coach, great to have you back.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
So we're 3 games in. The season's kind of settling in now. Coming up later in the show, we're going to go over in full detail kind of the games, how they've played out. But does it feel like it's kind of getting into the rhythm of the season?
Absolutely. You know, you get into the first game's always, tough. You go into it, you're not really sure of what to expect. And we got that behind us. And then we went on the road and played a Division I football team. And we were fortunate to come away with the win. So we got a little momentum going. And we came back home and won our home opener. So we feel that we're off to a good start and looking forward to this week.
Yeah, and I know when you get to conference play, I mean, all the games matter. But does it ramp up any more for you and kind of the approach to the game when now that it's Big Sky play?
I think so. I think our kids get excited. They know what it's at stake for, playing for a conference championship, playing for things that are bigger than what you play for I guess, in a practice game. But more importantly, it's a home game. It's our opener. It's a night game. Expect a good crowd. There's a lot of reason to be excited. They're a good team, too. So I think that's another factor that gets us excited.
Well, we'll get more into North Dakota coming up in a moment, but we do want to get a little perspective on what it's like for you, Coach, on game day. Let's take a listen into the big win at Colorado, kind of that pre-game speech that you had for the players.
The right to be here, and you don't bow down to no man. You respect what you have here. Believe it. But you guys play your tails off all day long. Play your tails off all day long and fight the fight. Win. Fight the fight, guys.
I'll tell you what, Coach, the message worked. You got me fired up, and it worked for your team that day.
Well, that's what keeps you coaching is the emotion, the passion. And sometimes I watch these things and go, gosh, is that really me talking? You kind of get going with it, and your kids get excited, you get excited, and you just try to feed back and give them a message that you feel is right and that you feel you can take into the game. And I felt our kids were ready to play that day. It was an exciting moment.
Yeah, we're going to look into more detail on that great win. As we look back at the 3 games the Hornets have already played, including the thriller at Colorado, we'll continue with more of Hornet Football Weekly.
Academics is a top priority at Sac State.
Academics is why I choose Sac State.
Sac State students have many opportunities
to work in the community and get real-world experience.
Just ask any Sac State student or alumni.
Sac State professors are the best.
Professors work directly with the students in the classroom and the laboratory.
I want to study mass communications.
I want to teach,
to learn,
to grow,
to be a leader.
Sac State is a great place to learn.
Leadership begins here.
Academics begin here.
And we welcome you back into Hornet Football Weekly. I'm your host, Jason Ross. We're back here with the head coach, Marshall Spurbeck. Coach, we addressed it in the beginning. 2-1 start. I know you've got to be pleased with that. Conference play is coming up. We're going to look back at some highlights, too, of a couple of games, including the great win against Colorado. But let's start with the first game. Back in August, New Mexico State. Some good things in that game, but turnovers may have cost you guys ultimately in that one.
Yeah, it did, and I think our slow start, we got off to a kind of a slow start with New Mexico State taking a 28-0 lead, and we got back into it right before halftime. We scored on our last 2 possessions to cut it to 28-10 at half. Went back out to start the second half and did a nice job. Kicked a field goal and scored a touchdown to cut it to 28-19, and then the wheels kind of fell off. We had 3 consecutive turnovers, and they scored on all 3 of those possessions, and 49-19 the final score.
Yeah, but the important thing, and you learned a lot about your team, is how you bounce back. So you lose by 30, you play Colorado. The natural thought is, okay, another tough matchup. But the preparation that week must have been huge because you guys were really focused for all 4 quarters.
We were, and we knew going into that game they were going to come out and try to put us away earlier, and they were going to throw their best shot at us. And I felt like we took that and we kept battling through it, and our kids really did a good job of playing the game through.
Well, let's look back at some of the highlights from that game, including your first score. So you're down 14-0 like you addressed early in, but you get this score, which I felt was a much-needed one just to get back into the game.
It was a good drive, and we just run a little option route there by DeAndre, and he really shows his competitive spirit by battling off that tackler and doing a good job of getting in the end zone.
All right, so then you score again. So now it's 14-14. It's gone from we're kind of hanging around to now maybe you believe you can win. You take the lead. 3 straight scores here. This play, the next one to Broadnax, was so well designed, so open, and resulted in really an easy score for you guys.
Like you said, it was a great design play by Coach Peterson, and a good call at that time where we showed the tight end coming across the field. He reverses direction and kind of heads back to the opposite side of the field, and he's wide open, and Garrett did a nice job putting the ball right there, and easy play.
So the offense is getting momentum. The defense now, I think, is starting to get a little confidence. Let's show the defense too, Coach, where Ben Cowger getting to the quarterback. You still, at this point of the season, don't have a turnover. It's close to happening there, but the defense is starting to get after it.
Ben played a great game. You know, he was a third-team defensive end going into the New Mexico State game, and really worked hard and got a chance to play a lot more reps against Colorado, and ended up being our defensive MVP in that game, and that's one of the better plays he had on the afternoon right there, the sack.
So really the second half is going back and forth, but again, we've got more from the defense because they kept pressuring the quarterback, whether it was individually Cowger or a team sack. You guys really got after the quarterback in Colorado.
Yeah, and I think we do a good job with keeping our D-line fresh. You know, we rotate 8 players, and we're constantly getting new guys in there, and Coach Parker and our defensive staff do a great job of really breaking down the opponent and finding weaknesses in the pass protection so we can take advantage of it, and I think you'll continue to see that as the season goes through.
And everybody knows now the drama comes all the way down to the end. 2:15 to go. Ball starts at your 15-yard line. The poise your offense showed, the poise your quarterback here at Saffron showed was huge. But you set it up. You set it up basically between the hash marks for Edgar Castaneda. We got to look at the moment now. Edgar kicks the game-winning field goal, and at that moment when it goes through, what's the sideline like?
All the guys locked up together, and they're just sitting there hoping and praying that the thing goes through. And people forget that it's not just the kick. You know, it's the protection, it's the snap, it's the hold. There's a lot that goes into it, and they sent 11 guys after us, and everybody executed perfectly, and it was a great kick, and pandemonium set in afterwards.
Yeah, and I know an awesome moment for him and for you guys afterwards. You got a lot of attention for the scholarship award there for Edgar Castaneda. So great moment there, but now, Coach, we transition to last week, the home opener. Important time to bounce back. You guys did that. Early turnover, then the first offensive play. Let's check out the touchdown. You guys are looking to go deep. First play, you find Morris Norris, and what a way to start this game.
Yeah, it was a well-designed play. We knew going in that, you know, certain look, they were going to get man coverage basically on Mo, and he runs a nice post route, and he beats the guy. Nice throw by Garrett.
Yeah, so you guys jump out to a quick and early lead. You've had great success in the past, have never lost to Northern Colorado, kept that streak going, but you also kept the strong defense going. A guy that's really having a nice season to start is Robert Beal, a guy who kind of earned his reps, gets on the field, and Beal gets an interception in this game. And what has he meant so far to your team?
Well, first of all, Robert's hung with us. You know, he's been in the program 4 years. He's never played on defense until this season, and he was a walk-on, and he's another guy that we just rewarded with the scholarship after the second game as well. And he's earned everything he's done, and he's really a good kid that has played well for us. He's been our leading tackler in 2 of our 3 games, so very fortunate to have him.
Yeah, let's look at his interception last week. I mean, this was a ball that Seth Lobato, I mean, he basically threw it up for grabs, but a Hornet's got to be there. You had a couple guys there, but here's Beal right on the spot.
Yeah, he's playing center field, and he's Johnny on the spot there, and goes up and makes a great play, and he gets it at its highest point like he's taught every day, and well executed.
All right, the last part we want to look back at this game is your running game. I know it's something you want to develop. It's important to your success. Ezekiel Graham, a new Hornet, is going to be an exciting player, I think, all year. He's really starting to put up some yards. You're running him between the tackles, outside. Here's a run that starts inside but goes outside. This guy's, he's a stud, Coach.
Yeah, he is, and we feel like we have a 3-headed monster there with you know, Ezekiel, AJ, and Sam. They're all contributing at different spots, and the thing you like seeing on that clip too is Garrett getting out in front, leading the
Do you like that?
The blocking down the field. Yeah, I do, and that's what Garrett's all about. He's a competitor. He's going to fight you, and from the start to the finish, and even though maybe it wasn't one of his best games throwing the ball, he's going to find a way to compete, and he shows it there on that play.
Well, there were a lot of guys that were standouts this week, including our Player of the Week. We'll tell you who that is when we come back with more of Hornet Football Weekly.
Is a fade pattern toward 3. He caught it! He caught it! Sacramento State has shocked the world!
All right, we welcome you back to the set here. I'm Jason Ross, your host here of Hornet Football Weekly, as always joined by the head coach, Marshall Spurbeck. And we have our player of the week, Osagie Odiase. Osagie, congratulations. First, just the numbers last week. 11 tackles, an interception, a pass breakup, 3 pass breakups, and a recovered fumble. Congratulations on your great week.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and most importantly, I'm guessing you enjoyed the win at starting 2-1 here.
Yes, sir. It was a great win.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, how you got to Sacramento State. How did you end up as a Hornet?
Well, first I came to Sac State as a walk-on, and after my freshman year, I kind of earned my stripes and got put on scholarship, and I'm very fortunate for it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you have to earn your stripes. What did Osagie do to get that scholarship?
Well, first he worked hard. You know, he came up every day and showed up at practice, showed up at weights, did things the right way, and we knew he was a good player. And when he got his opportunities, he really made the best of it, and he's done a good job ever since.
For you and Coach Parker on the defensive side, to have a luxury of Osagie coming back, 2 years experience, now a junior, what did that do just going into the season, having an experienced corner like that?
Well, first of all, playing corner is one of the toughest positions to play, and you're out there on an island, and you've got to be tough mentally as far as being able to, go out there and get beat sometimes and be able to bounce back and make plays. And Osagie has that resilience about himself that he's very confident and self-assured that he knows he's going to come up on top eventually, and sometimes you got to be able to battle through the tough times, and he's shown that he can do that. And we're very fortunate to have him. Having a good cornerback makes it a lot easier on your defense.
Well, let's look at some of those key plays from a week ago. This is against Northern Colorado guys. And Osagie here, take us through this defensively as you're trying to contain this passing game. And here's just it looks like a quick slant, and you're just breaking it up right there. What are you reading from the receiver? Kind of take us through that.
Well, with that play, I was in press coverage, and Coach Parker's told me it's going to be a bigger receiver, so he wants me to be on him, be a little more physical with him. So the goal was to stay inside leverage with him and try to not let him get inside and force him outside. And he gave me a route outside, and he tried to come back inside, and I kind of stuck my hand on his shoulder, and I batted the ball down.
All right, let's go to another one here from the game where defensively you had 11 tackles. Here's one of them, Coach. Again, Osagie's got to cover. He's got to make some tackles here. And this is a nice play I think he makes here on the corner when they try to run around the outside, but Osagie's there basically waiting for him.
That was one of the things Osagie really worked on last year. That Coach Parker challenged him early in the season with his being more physical and being able to step up and make plays in the run game. And I think he's taken a lot of pride in that. Really has become a very good tackler in special teams too.
Part of it too, Osagie, was what you did with this interception. So I know corners love to get tackles, love to get pass breakups, but how about this to get that INT in front of the home crowd? And getting the INT, that's got to be a sweet feeling.
Oh, yes, it is. Especially for their main thing, their main goal is to get interceptions and pass breakups. So when I got this, I was pretty excited.
And I know you were close to another one. You were rolling over with the receiver. He kind of came away with it. But do you set personal targets on numbers of tackles or breakups or interceptions you would like to get this season?
Nah, I just go in the game and just play. You know what I mean? I never set a target of what I'm supposed to get. Yeah. Coach Parker does a great job with calling plays, and it's just for us as the defense, we just got to go out and execute it.
Well, I got to ask you, so the season's played out 2-1. You were with the Hornets a year ago when you beat Oregon State. You've now defeated Colorado. From a player's perspective, how sweet were those 2 wins?
Oh, it's a great experience. It's one in a million. Like, a lot of people don't get to experience that. It's a blessing, actually.
Yeah. Coach, I know in our next segment we're going to look at North Dakota. Osagie's got a tough assignment this week with Greg Harden.
He does, and he knows that, and I know he's anxious to get going. And as a corner, as a competitor, that's out there on that island, you want that opportunity. And he's going to go against one of the best in our conference this week, and I have no doubt that Osagie will step up to the challenge.
And being at home, Osagie, it's fun. You have family that come in. Your mom's always at the games. I'm sure students out there, the Green Army. Should be fun this week. Good luck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, too.
All right, that's Osagie Odiase. We also have Marshall Spurbeck. We're back with more with the coach. We mentioned North Dakota. We'll look ahead to that game. It's going to be a big challenge in the Big Sky. We'll discuss that with the coach next here on Hornet Football Weekly.
What light does gets in your head. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it. Because what light does weighs on you. Do what light does in the 7.9-ounce Audi 05 Star.
Back here on Hornet Football Weekly, I'm Jason Ross. Of course, the show is presented to you by the Hornet Club, joined by the head coach, Marshall Spurbeck. Coach, it's conference time this week, and it sounds weird to say North Dakota in the conference, one of the new teams, and Hornets have only played them once, so this will be a unique look for you guys this week.
Yeah, they had a good season last year. They're the defending Great West champions, and they were 8-3, and they came into this season with high expectations. I believe they had 9 starters back on offense, 5 on defense, and they're very explosive, and it's going to be a big challenge for us.
That's a lot of passing you guys are going to have to be ready for this week. So let's look at this passing game. That their quarterback gets hurt in game 1, and they just keep rolling right along. This offense is an air attack every week, and this last week against San Diego State, they lit them up for a ton of points and yards.
Yeah, they played very well, and I think that quarterback competition that they had in camp could have gone either way. Like you said, the starter went down the first game. He was very effective, and then they bring in the next guy, and he's taken right off where they left off, and he's doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier when Osagi was on set with us about, containing Greg Harden. I mean, this guy is an incredible receiver. We've got highlights of him, and just a major, major weapon that they have as a receiver.
Yeah, he could be one of the top receivers in our conference. I mean, what I've seen of him in the first 3 games, he's explosive, he runs good routes, good hands, he's very dynamic.
All right, so let's go even more in the passing game, and I think it'll illustrate also the mobility of the quarterback, Hendrickson, that, even if you get the pressure, he might be able to buy some extra time and throw on the move. I mean, it looks like he has all the skills that a quarterback needs.
He really does. He's very poised. He can get out of trouble. I mean, he really reminds us a lot of Garrett Saffron, our quarterback, the same type of player, strong arm, quick release, and he'll beat you with his legs if he has to.
All right, we've got one more just to illustrate how impressive the numbers are. I mean, 14 passing touchdowns for North Dakota this year. Number 3 offense in the nation. I mean, Coach, and they're doing it, like we said, these highlights.
Yeah, and you see his mobility right there where he steps up in the pocket and just a quick release where he flings the ball down. That's hard to defend. So we're going to do what we do every week, and, I feel very confident that we'll step up to the challenge.
So we're talking so much about the passing game. How are they as a running team?
Yeah, they can run the ball. They mix it up, and they jump in a lot of different formations, and they really try to keep you off balance with run and pass.
They've been prone to give up some points. So on your side of things, when you guys have the football, you feel like you can take advantage of some things?
Yeah, and it's more about us. If we go out and play our game and execute well and really feel we can move the ball against anyone.
Yeah, so another opportunity, though, to be at home. I mean, to settle into the season, get another exciting crowd out there, a night game. I think this has a lot of excellent opportunities here this week for you guys.
It does, and I know our kids felt like last week we didn't play our best game, and I think they're hungry to get back out and play the type of football that we're capable of, and I know our guys will step up. They're ready. They're excited. It's a night game. They always play and get fired up for that. So 6 o'clock game. Hopefully we'll have a good crowd.
All right, should be a lot of fun. We're going to have another segment with the coach. But up next, we're going to talk a little bit about the men's soccer program. Mike Lindenberger, head coach of the men's soccer team. He joins us next here on Hornet Football Weekly.
Going to Sac State was really a rite of passage for the beginning of the rest of my life. I'm very happy that we brought one of the world's largest video game companies here to Sacramento.
I started Sleep Train after graduating Sac State in 1984. It's really what built the foundation of who I am today.
I think that Sac State has made me into a leader. Most importantly, I think it's made me into a confident individual. I'm open to any opportunities. I'm Laura Gonzalez.
I'm Dale Carlson.
I'm Mark Otero, and I was made at Sac State.
All right, back here on our set of Hornet Football Weekly, we're going to zero in and focus in now on the men's soccer team as we're joined by soccer coach Mike Lindenberger. Mike, 24 seasons for you. It's probably flying by for you, I'm guessing.
It's gone very fast.
Yeah.
It's gone very fast. Can't believe it's been 24 years already.
Well, you guys are underway this year, and tell us, so far as league is on the horizon, how has it gone in the early part of the season?
Yeah, we started off pretty strong. We had a 3-game unbeaten streak at home after our opening loss at Oregon State, but we faltered a little bit the last 3 games. We've got our final non-conference game of the season coming up on Sunday, and then we start our 10-game conference run at it, and we're excited about that.
Before we get into the new conference, which I think is huge for the program, talk about the home field, because you have been so good there consistently. When you have those little hiccups, I'm sure that's got to hurt. They've been so close. Some late goals have really hurt the team lately.
Yeah, we've unfortunately had a tendency to give up some late goals in games in the last few minutes of games. And so that's a challenge we're going to try and remedy here as we get ready for conference play.
All right, let's talk about the conference. The jump to the Big West. Is this good for the program?
I think it's fantastic for the program. It's an all-California conference. Last year, the Big West was rated as the 2nd strongest conference in the country. So it's very challenging. We get some big-name programs here at home. It's helping recruiting. It's helping attendance. And our guys are very excited about it.
So it's great for the program. Is it good for you? I see Riverside, Santa Barbara, Irvine, all ranked. That's a major challenge for you guys.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I am excited about it as well. It will be good for us. We're hoping to have an immediate impact in the conference. We've won our former conference 2 out of the last 3 years and been to the NCAA playoffs. So we're hoping we can continue that run in the Big West.
The other wrinkle with that, Davis twice. Everybody loves the rivalry, so playing him twice, what's that going to do for you and really for the rivalry?
We've always had a big rivalry with Davis, just like all of our sports. But now we play him twice, home and away every year, and it's for conference championships and for points. So I think that's going to rev it up even more.
So when I look at the makeup of your team, I see some seniors, which is great. You get the leadership. But a lot of freshmen. That's got to be a tricky dynamic.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season because we do have a big senior class, and we brought in 8 freshmen this year. And due to some injuries we've had early in the season, a lot of these freshmen are thrown in the fire right away, getting a lot more playing time than we expected this early in the season.
Now, does that end up maybe some long-term success for the Hornets? I mean, they throw into the fire. These guys will then get, the reps and the minutes and the opportunity. That's got to help them.
Exactly. I think long-term it's going to be great. They're getting early experience, which will help us not only down the road in future years, but also in conference play here, second half of the season. But there has been a learning curve here in the early part of the season.
I know your son's still on the team, had a game-winning goal earlier in the season. How is that as coach/father? How do you play that whole dynamic too?
Yeah, it's exciting. This is his senior year. I can't believe he's been here 4 years already. He scored a game-winning goal in overtime, 2nd game of the season. So that's exciting as a coach and as a father. And we've had 3 tremendous years when he's been here, and we're hoping to have a 4th.
How about with the home game coming up Sunday? You mentioned UNLV coming in last non-conference game. Just getting the Hornet support. We know it's growing on campus really with a lot of the sports, but what's it like to have that Hornet faithful backing you guys?
Yeah, it's great. We've had great attendance this year. We hope to have another fantastic crowd on Sunday. We've been very successful at home over the last 3 or 4 years, and we think it'll be a great game to send us off into conference play.
And for you being here 24 years on the campus, from day one to where it is now, what a change on campus.
Yeah, it's been tremendous change for the soccer program, the athletic department, the campus in general. The change has been unbelievable when you look back, 24 years ago compared to where we are now.
Well, Coach, best of luck this weekend. It's certainly in conference, and 24 years has gone quickly, but hopefully a lot more success and wins coming up for you guys.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Mike Lindenberger, head coach of the soccer program. We'll come back and wrap things up with Marshall Spurbeck. That's coming up here on Hornet Football Weekly. again. Welcome back here to Hornet Football Weekly. This is our wrap-up segment. We conclude here with the head coach, Marshall Spurbeck. Coach, football is always on our mind, but academics, what a boost you guys have had. At one point in the APR near the bottom of the conference, now first. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. We just received an award for the top school in our conference as far as our APR score, and our players have done a great job of turning around and applying themselves. We're very close to a 3.0 as a team, and we're making strides every day to get better in that area.
And I know you're trying to build young men too. I mean, just the overall program, everybody looks at wins and losses, but there really is more to it, isn't there?
They take it very seriously, and I think the character of our program, the character of the young men that we have in our program has been improved upon every year that we've been here.
North Dakota Conference starts, night game. I think it's going to be pretty electric Saturday night.
I'm excited. It should be a great night for football. The weather's been so good here in Sacramento, and especially this time of year. So expect a good crowd, and I really expect a great game.
Look forward to doing this each and every week.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jason. It's fun.
All right, that's Marshall Spurbeck. That's it for us for this week, but join us each and every week for Hornet Football Weekly.